and change your lens. Press 8 in the comments if that was a shift in your mind. Because you might have heard it explained in some version like that, but I explain it a little bit differently. You already are abundant. But guess what? You telling yourself the story that you're not abundant is blocking you from actually seeing abundance. That's just the truth. You guys aren't, you could have $1 million in front of your face right now, some of you, and find a way to find scarcity in that with the mindset you currently have. That's the thing. It's more of a forward view of making that shift. Yeah. So we need to find, right, where your lens is limiting you. And we need to get rid of those blocks. And that's what I help you do. What if I like money but don't care about money? I'd be curious about what it means to you to not care. I would want to get crystal clear on what that means to you. Most therapy looks behind. Never saw it before. So do me a favor, you guys. This is a new muscle. This is a new muscle we're working right now, right? The abundance muscle. So I want you guys to look around your place, and I want you to find 4 more sources of abundance in your home. I want the time freedom that money brings. But Delphi, let me ask you a question. Because you want to act in the space and the energy of already having what you are looking for. So how could you do something for yourself this week, right, that would give you time freedom? You already have it. You're just not executing on it. Those of you that want time freedom, what is something you could do this week, even if it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, to give yourself what it is that you're looking for? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? My bed is abundance. How do I free myself? Limitation visualization. Goblin, you have to identify the limiting belief and you have to release it. Make more money. Well, Delphia, sure, that's what you're going. You're making money. You already have time freedom. So I'm asking, how can you act on that? How could you guys give yourself what it is that you already have? Think about that. Because the thing is, our lens is so focused on what we don't have. Now we need to focus our lens on what we do have. If I want time freedom, I would probably just go to a cafe, sit down, have a latte by myself. Maybe go to a really fancy hotel overlooking some cool trees or beach and take myself on a dinner date. So we already have it. We just need to figure out how to access it. The very interesting thing is, once you realize that you already have it, how to access it becomes pretty obvious. It's interesting what happens when we detach. When we detach, outside looking in. How do I get rid of social anxiety and negative thought patterns? Social anxiety is the protective self, Courtney. So that's the part of you trying to protect you from people because of your limiting beliefs and fears around people. So social anxiety goes away with the protective self. And then I would say negative thought patterns get released when you identify the limiting beliefs driving them, right? So how can you give yourself a version of the spring break in Florida right now, if you were to? Reframing. That's the interesting thing with reframing. You have to be at the right step in the recipe for reframing, right? If you're holding on to your protective self, reframing ain't gonna do nothing. It's just gonna sound like a cool idea. Reframing only works when you let go. Reframing is a learning, right? You're learning a new perspective on something. You can't reframe unless you release your past pattern in learning. I feel more abundant when I'm not stressed and embrace who I am and keep the promise I made to myself. Find a really cool hypnotherapist online that will help. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Can't reframe if you're still in the box. Exactly. How does this one stop the aftermath of being a narcissist relationship? So slowly, the very first thing I would do is take off the label of narcissism. That would be very empowering. This is going to be very controversial. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to let you guys go. By you guys adopting the title of narcissistic abusive relationship, you're adopting the victim mindset and mentality that comes with that label. And a lot of people like to hold on to that label because it allows them to stay in the victim mindset. You are deciding to view yourself through the lens of being a victim. Okay? Narcissists, people, are a product of their environment, their limiting beliefs, right? Their traumas, their fears, their doubts. And, right, you are the one that decided to either stay with them, allow that to continue. There's a level of responsibility you need to take in that relationship. Once you accept responsibility, right, what we need to do is obviously do your healing, but get you out of that victim mentality. Let go of that. Let go of it. Once you do your healing, there's definitely, when you're hurt by someone, there's a healing process. You should process your emotions. But my concern is people who get stuck in the victim cycle. I've honestly have declined working with people that blame everything on the narcissistic relationship. They blame how hot the sun is burning, connect that to the narcissistic relationship in the past. They're in the victim mentality. I don't work with people who are unwilling to let go of the victim persona. I just don't. I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Come back to me when you are willing to accept responsibility and create your own identity. So the very first thing that you need to do is to be willing to let go. Willing to let go of that persona. Because you have that persona because it has protected you. The victim persona has the victim, your false self, right? It has protected you. So it deserves loving, it deserves care. So be willing to look at it lovingly. Once you decide that you're willing, now it's time to dissolve the beliefs that created the protective self. Do you see what I'm saying? You got to dissolve. You got to be willing to unlearn the patterns of a victim mentality in order to step into an empowered mentality. Does that make sense? I can help you, but you have to be willing to get out of that. Because so many people are trying, but they're not willing. Two different worlds. Yeah, I can definitely help. The victim mentality is a block. It's your false self. No one's a victim. No one. Victim mindset. I mean, there's something bad happened to me, and I'm blaming everything in my life on something bad that happened to me. You guys see what I'm saying? But it's very hard. It's very hard. A lot of people are very comfortable with the victim mentality. And it's going to be a rough life because you will blame everything. You will get more stuck. Oh, I've seen this so many times. Like I said, victim mentality. That is the one that it's like I make sure you're ready.